Today I am ranking Boerne's most popular neighborhoods from worst all the way up to best. We're going to be talking about things like location, lifestyle, home values, and everything in between. And even though each neighborhood has its own specific appeal, I want you to know exactly which ones are right for you. After helping dozens of families move to Boerne, I've seen the goods, the bads, and the uglies of every single one of these neighborhoods and what makes each of them truly unique. We're going to rank them from worst to best, starting with the D tier, going all the way up to that S tier, which is the nearly perfect neighborhoods, at least from the perspective of what we're looking at today. But even those perfect S-tier neighborhoods have their trade-offs and those negatives that we need to talk about. Boerne's neighborhoods have completely transformed over the years, especially given that Boerne has nearly doubled in size over the last decade, going from about 13,500 people all the way up to nearly 25,000 people today. And believe it or not, even with the growth and the home price growth across the San Antonio market being relatively flat, values in Boerne are still up, and it is still one of the most expensive areas to buy in the entire San Antonio market. The goal of these rankings is to help you avoid some of those costly mistakes that you can make whenever you're moving to a new area like Boerne, and it's going to help you really narrow down which neighborhoods to focus on if you are looking at Boerne specifically. So let's kick things off with our D tier neighborhood, and this is that kind of Scenic Oaks, Country Bend, Wynwood area, and it's a little bit different than what you would kind of expect. So this is basically that area kind of between Boerne Stage Road and I-10. It's directly across the highway from Fair Oaks Ranch, and it includes what I call it Scenic Oaks, but for you guys that know Scenic Oaks is a gated guarded neighborhood. So this isn't the exact area that I'm talking about. It's kind of everything surrounding that. So we're talking like Country Bend, Wynwood, Lakeside Acres, Indian Creek, like those kind of little neighborhoods that kind of scattered around there. So what puts this area on the D tier list? Well, there's one specific reason, and that is that it does actually lack an HOA. And so for some of you guys, that actually might be a big plus. But some of the negatives that can come with this is that some of these homes are not all that well taken care of. And just driving through the area, you can kind of see that you have a mix of newer construction, $1 million plus homes, and kind of rundown, trailer homes, just older homes that are more dilapidated. I mean, the lowest priced home that is sold here in the last year is like $160,000, and it was a teardown, right? So that's kind of the what you get whenever you don't have the HOA. Now, Scenic Oaks specifically, like I said, is a guarded gated neighborhood, completely different story. But we're talking the areas surrounding that. Now, another big negative of this place is that it's actually mostly in Bexar County. So as you get to the more northern end of this little section, you start to get into like the Balcones Creek and Fox Falls neighborhoods, those newer construction neighborhoods that are not the places that we're talking about here. But some of these areas are Bexar County, which equates to higher property tax rates, and you're kind of on that border between Boerne ISD and Northside ISD in San Antonio. So further south, you may be a Boerne address, but you may not actually be in Boerne ISD, which is not a terrible thing. Northside ISD is still a very highly rated district, and Clark High School and everything that goes with that is a good rated district, but it is not to the level, the A+ level that Boerne ISD is. Now, when it comes to being in Bexar County, the higher property tax rates that come with that, you're in that like 2 to 2.3% range, whereas if you're up just strictly in Kendall County, you got those lower, 1.5 to 1.8% property taxes. So again, that's a big difference as well. But talking about the HOA, lack thereof, I should say, is that for some of you guys, this is going to be the best thing that you can find, and that being in this Boerne area, maybe schools aren't as important to y'all, you're just looking for a place with no HOA. This is a really, really good option. You can get some much more affordable options too, especially if you go down outside of Boerne ISD, because the prices in Boerne ISD are a little bit higher than outside of Boerne ISD. So keep that in mind whenever you are looking at neighborhoods. You can look at this area specifically. Now, here's where it gets interesting. So this area kind of surrounding Scenic Oaks, Wynwood, Country Bend, all these areas, you got a lot more freedom. You can park that RV in the front yard, that boat in the front yard. You don't have anybody that's coming by and telling you left your trash can out by the street too long. But this next neighborhood we're going to talk about, this first C tier neighborhood, is completely different. We're talking newer homes, a much more restrictive HOA, and a lot higher cost that you're going to want to know about. But before we get there, if we haven't met yet, my name is Michael McCall. I'm a real estate agent in the San Antonio market, run the Lacton San Antonio, Texas home group. And if you're looking for lots of insider information about Boerne or anywhere else in and around San Antonio, would love for you guys to hit that subscribe button and get some more details about everything that you need to know about this market, everything it takes to live here and what it's like to live here. So moving on to the C tier, we have Corley Farms. Now, this is the newest neighborhood on the list, but it does not come without its negatives. Corley Farms is a brand spanking new community. You've got Pulte and Perry homes that are building in this community. Price points start even in that mid 300s range, but go well up into those 700 plus price points. They've got plenty of amenities that will be coming, including a pool, playground, park, amenity center, but that is the catch too. This is so new that a lot of these amenities haven't even been built yet. And on top of that, you're still paying the HOA dues for not even getting to use the amenities because they're not there yet. I would say the continuous construction that you're going to have for years and years to come is definitely one of the biggest negatives, but the next biggest, which is a big negative for a ton of people, is the fact that it has a water improvement district, which brings water all the way up I-10 from San Antonio. What that created then was an additional tax rate. You're going to have a 2.4% property tax rate. Given that there is a lot of construction, that is one benefit to some of the more established neighborhoods that don't have any construction going on, such as Champion Heights or Trail of the Herf Ranch, which we're going to talk about later on. You are getting in on the ground floor, so you could potentially get better deals. I've never seen a builder drop rates drastically or drop prices drastically from one year to the next. We have homes that are, mid 300,000s and brand spanking new in a very, very high level neighborhood. And again, because it's new builds, you can go in and get some of these crazy good interest rates and incentives that the builders are offering. Perry and Pulte are two of the best builders in the San Antonio market, and they are giving some crazy good incentives quite frequently. $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 incentives. You can get great interest rates, all the closing costs covered, pay for upgrades if you are building. So there's lots of perks when it comes to the new construction, even though there is a lot of construction you're having to deal with when you're living in the house. So now that kind of covers all of our lower tier, our D and C tiers. Now let's get up into the mid tier with B, get all the way up into our A's and then S's after that. Now these two neighborhoods in the B tier are what I would consider kind of the sweet spot with, super much more affordable homes in good quality neighborhoods and outstanding locations right in the middle of Boerne. So first up is Trails at Herf Ranch. Trails at Herf Ranch is very unique and very popular whenever it comes to people that are looking in Boerne, because you can get homes that are over 3,000 square feet for under $500,000, and that is incredibly difficult to do. Currently, the listings in Trail at Herf Ranch run from as low as $315,000, which is so difficult to do in the Boerne area, all the way up to $550,000 for a higher quality home that's much bigger. You've got a little more variety than some of the typical tract home neighborhoods. This is a KB home neighborhood, but they did a lot of unique things that kind of give the homes a lot more character. The neighborhood is super walkable. Like I said, sidewalks throughout. You've got the amenity center, such as the pools. You've got playgrounds. You've got open spaces where you can take the dogs and play with the dogs. You're right down the street from the elementary school, so the kids can walk to school. In addition, it is right across from Champion High School, which is really great. Now you're going to notice that we're going to talk about a few neighborhoods that are right here directly across from Champion High School. So the next one on our B tier list is Champion Heights, and Champion Heights is a neighborhood that is pretty well established. It's a smaller neighborhood than Herf Ranch or even Esperanza. It's got some good quality builders with no real outstanding amenities, but it has a big park area that is really nice, but no public pool or anything like that for the community. Prices run from those low fours up to the mid fives, and you've got homes as low as 1,800 square feet all the way up to those 3,000 to 3,500 square foot homes. You've got multiple homes that have these really nice greenbelt locations. There is a section of homes here that is very unique in that they have rear entry garages, so it makes the front facade of the home look really cool. I would say that is one of the negatives of Champion Heights and Trails at Herf Ranch, is just the simple fact that these are kind of on the lower end of homes, and whenever you go to sell these homes, because you have a neighborhood like Esperanza right across from this one, it makes these homes very difficult to sell. So you kind of have to really adjust on the price. You're not going to be able to find the same exact home that's 3,000 square foot home in Esperanza. You're gonna have to pay $600,000-$700,000 for that house, and in Trails at Herf Ranch or Champion Heights, you're gonna be $450 to $500 on that house. Tax rates in both these neighborhoods are still really good. They have it right around that 1.8 1.9%. You're gonna have much lower taxes than say down in Corley Farms, where you have that water improvement district. Now this leads us to a really important question. What does it take to go from a B tier to an A tier? And we're talking school districts that make Boerne such a popular place, but we're also talking about a little bit higher quality homes, bigger lots, and overall more of a custom feel. So our A-tier neighborhoods are two of the most premium neighborhoods in the Boerne market. They're incredibly popular, and they just have a few trade-offs that keep them out of that S-tier list. First one's going to be Fair Oaks Ranch. Now, we've talked about Fair Oaks Ranch in previous videos, but Fair Oaks Ranch specifically is its own incorporated town, believe it or not. But given that the entire thing is in Boerne ISD, I find it very important to kind of lump it all in together to include it in this Boerne discussion. Fair Oaks Ranch is a country club neighborhood with a beautiful golf course. There are tons of acreage lots available, lots of custom builders, but you also have other smaller little neighborhoods built in, such as new ones like Elkhorn Ridge. You've got a wide range of different types of communities. You have also older, more established communities, gated communities within Fair Oaks Ranch. There's tons of animals that run around all over there, tons of wildlife. Prices in Fair Oaks are significantly higher. You have an average of about $785,000, which is up a couple percentage points between last year. And that's typical on some of these higher quality neighborhoods. You do see a little bit more price growth even in the down years overall. Really, the only thing keeping Fair Oaks Ranch out of the S tier for me personally is the fact that it is mostly in Barrett County. So you have the 2 to 2.2, 2.3% property tax rate here in Fair Oaks Ranch. But it is still feeding into Boerne ISD schools, so you still have that going for it. Now, a big benefit about Fair Oaks Ranch is that it is right off I-10, super easy to get onto the highway and head into San Antonio for work. But another neighborhood that is incredibly good and is a lot newer is Balcones Creek, directly across the highway from Fair Oaks Ranch. Balcones Creek is, again, a relatively new neighborhood. They are kind of just finishing up construction, so there's a lot of brand spanking new homes, in addition to some homes that are, 5, 6 years old, all really, really high quality builders, and you have a mix of homes that are, 400 to 600,000, smaller homes, but higher quality construction, smaller lots, and you've got even some acreage sections too with some bigger lots. Balcones Creek features some of the best builders such as Perry and Highland Homes. You've got a really nice amenity center. It is gated. There are multiple gated sections. You have homes from basically the mid fours all the way up to over $1 million. Overall, the layout, the feel, the construction of the homes just feels incredibly high quality in Balcones Creek. But the lack of some of the bigger amenities is just what kept it out of that S tier. So now, without further ado, getting into some of these S tier neighborhoods, we're going to talk about two specifically. I'm going to consider these the big leaguers of Boerne. These are the two names that a lot of people recognize when we're talking about neighborhoods in San Antonio or even just Boerne in general. We're talking about Esperanza and Cordillera Ranch. Esperanza is one of the premier luxury master planned communities in the entire San Antonio market. You have amenities that include a fitness center, you have volleyball courts, you have lazy river, you've got dog parks, you've got sidewalks everywhere, you've got hill country views galore. You've got a 55 and over community within Esperanza by Toll Brothers. You've got some of the best builders in the entire San Antonio area and Highland, Perry, Chesmar. You have a section of Esperanza with multi-million-dollar homes in addition to the typical homes from these other builders that range from 600 all the way up to $1 million. You've got an elementary school right there within its own community, and on top of the development that has already happened, you have just an additional, just ridiculous amount of development that is going to continue to go. You've got 350 acres of green space already. What kind of blew me away whenever I first looked at Esperanza was just the sheer stunning layouts and the the style of all these homes. They did a lot of that Spanish Mediterranean style with a lot of these, but now you have a lot of these real modern, slanted roof type homes that Perry gives you, big, gorgeous, kind of traditional style homes that Highland provides. However, negative for Esperanza is that you do have a mud tax here. So it is so big, they had to do that municipal utility district. You have, I think it's like a 2.5, 2.6% property tax rate. But that also leads to some benefits for you guys if you're looking at retiring, and Boerne is an option you're wanting to consider, especially the Regency. If you are 100% disabled vet, you can get that property tax exemption. And you can even get that over 65 property tax exemption if you're not a disabled veteran. Now, if Esperanza is impressive, Cordillera Ranch is in a completely different stratosphere. You've got thousands of acres of space. You've got lots ranging from, quarter acre kind of villas and townhomes that luxury, Mediterranean style homes right there on that incredibly high quality and well-regarded golf course to 10, 20 bigger acreage estates on the Guadalupe River potentially. So let's talk about the amenities that come with Cordillera Ranch. You do have that Jack Nicklaus design and inspired golf course. You've got 8,700 acres of space in the community. The clubs at Cordillera Ranch offer 7 separate club experiences between the equestrian, the rod and gun club, tennis and swim club, just to name a few. Overall, you're looking at a median price point of about $1.7 million. And believe it or not, it's actually showing an increase of 17% on that price between this year and last year, which is kind of wild. These are all of the highest quality custom home builders in the entire San Antonio area, with several of them having model homes right there in the community. With the Guadalupe River going right through the neighborhood, you also have a riverfront park. You could go down there and fish. You could take your kayak and kayak up and down the river and fish that way. Big restaurant up there. I mean, tons and tons. It is just turnkey. You don't really ever have to leave, other than maybe go to the grocery store every now and then. And in my opinion, one of the biggest benefits of Cordillera Ranch, the tax rate. So you're looking at like a 1.3 to 1.4% property tax rate in Cordillera Ranch, which is just absolutely insane. You've got really no other community in the entire San Antonio market that I've found has a property tax rate that low. I told you I'd tell you negatives about each of these neighborhoods. Really, the only negative that I can find about Cordillera Ranch, one, it's very expensive, of course, but you pay for what you get and your amenities, but you are a lot farther away from San Antonio. I mean, you're a good 15 to 20 minutes away from Boerne's downtown as it is, and you're probably about a 45 to 55 minute to get into San Antonio. So from Scenic Oaks to Cordillera Ranch and every other neighborhood in between, including a lot of others that I did not talk about, Boerne has it all for something for everybody, in my opinion. And if you're thinking about moving to Boerne, or if you're thinking about selling a house anywhere in the San Antonio market, I am your guy that can help you out with that. So whether you're looking to make a move in 2 days or 2 years, you can reach out to us. My information is down in the description below. Go in there, click that calendar link to schedule a call, and we can talk directly, you and me, one-on-one, to help you out with whatever it is that you're looking to do in the San Antonio market. And if you're looking for more information about Boerne and want to get a full-on tour of the town, just kind of see what it's all about too, if it's the first time you've heard of Boerne, check out this video right here. It's a really good one. I think you're going to like it. Until the next one, guys, we'll see you there.